Prince of Thieves, it has occurred to me to visit the altars of the gods, bearing these branches as a suppliant and to this incense. Our king is not himself. His noble soul is overwrought with fantasies of dread. He would consider the new prophecies in the light of the old and will listen to any voice that speaks disaster, and my advice goes for nothing. To you then, Apollo, Lycian Lord, since you are nearest, I turn in prayer. Receive these offerings and grant us deliverance from defilement. Our hearts are weak, heavy with fear. When we see our leader distracted as helpless sailors are terrified by the confusion of their helmsmen.
Friends, no doubt you can direct me. Where shall I find the house of Oedipus? Or better still, where is the king himself?
It is this very place, stranger. He is inside. This is his wife and his mother of his children.
I wish her happiness in a happy house, blessed in all the fulfillment of her marriage.
I wish as much for you. Your courtesy deserves like a good fortune. But now tell me, why have you come? Why have you say this to us?
Good news, my lady, for your house and your husband.
What news? Who sent you here?
I am from Corinth. The news I bring ought to mean joy for you, though it may be you will find some grief in it.
What is it? How can it touch us in both ways?
The word is that people of the Isthmus intend to call Oedipus to be their king.
Old King Oedipus, is he not reigning still?
No, death holds him in his sepulchre.
What are you saying? Oedipus is dead?
If I am not telling the truth, may I die myself.
Go in, go quickly, tell us your master. O riddlers of God will, where are you now? This was the man whom Oedipus long ago feared so, fled so, in dread of destroying him, but it was another fate by which he died.
Dearest Jocasta, why have you sent for me?
Listen to what this man says, and then tell me, what has become this solemn prophecy?
Who is this man? What is his news for me?
He has come to Corinth to announce your father's death.
Is it true, stranger? Tell me in your own words.
I cannot say it more clearly, but the king is dead.
Was it by treason or by an attack of illness?
A little thing brings old men to their rest.
It was sickness then?
Yes, and his many years.
Ah, why should a man respect the Pythian hearth or give heed to the birds that jangle above his head? They prophesied that I should kill Polybus, kill my own father, but he is dead and buried, and I am here. I never touched him, never unless he died of grief for my departure, and thus in a sense through me. No, Polybus has packed the oracles off with him underground. They are empty words.
Had I not told you so?
You had. It was my faint heart that betrayed me.
From now on, never think of those things again.
And yet must I not fear my mother's bed?
Why should anyone in this world be afraid, since fate rules us and nothing can be foreseen? A man should live only for the present day. Have no more fear of sleeping with your mother. Have many men in dreams have lain with their mothers. No reasonable man is troubled by such things.
That is true. If only my mother were not still alive, but she is alive, I cannot help my dread.
Yet this is news of your father's death. Is wonderful.
Wonderful, but I fear the living woman.
Tell me, who is this woman that you fear?
It is Merope, man, wife of King Polybus.
Merope, why should you be afraid of her?
An oracle of the gods, a dreadful saying.
Can you tell me about it, or are you sworn to silence?
I can tell you, and I will. Apollo said through his prophet that I was the man who should marry his own mother, shed his father's blood with his own hands, and so for all these years I have kept clear to Corinth, and no harm has come. It would have been sweet to see my parents again.
And is this the fear that drove you out of Corinth?
Would you have me killed, my father?
As for that, you must be reassured by the news I gave you.
If you could reassure me, I would reward you.
I had that in mind, I will confess. I thought I could count on you when you returned to Corinth.
No, I will never go near my parents again.
Ah, son, you still do not know what you are doing.
What do you mean, in the name of God, tell me?
If these are your reasons for not going home,
I tell you, I fear the oracle may come true.
and guilt may come upon you through your parents.
That is dread that is always in my heart.
Can you not see that all your fears are groundless?
How can you say that they are my parents, surely?
More your father than the man speaking to
But you are nothing to me.
you. Neither was he.
Then why did he call me son?
Long ago, he had you from my hands as a gift.
Then how could he love me so, if I was not his?
He had no children, and his heart turned to you.
What of you? Did you buy me? Did you find me by chance?
I came upon you in the crooked paths of Kitharah,
And what were you doing there?
tending my flocks.
A wandering shepherd?
But your Savior's son that day.
From what did you save me?
Your ankles should tell you that.
Ah, stranger, why do you speak of this childhood pain?
I cut the bonds that tied your ankles together.
I have had the mark as long as I can remember.
That was why you were given the name you bear.
God, was it my father or my mother who did it? Tell me.
I do not know.
It was not you that found me, but another.
It was another shepherd.
Who was he?
I think he was said to be one of Elias's people.
Oh, you mean the Elias who was king here years ago?
Yes, King Elias. Man was one of his herdsmen.
Is he still alive? Can I see him?
These men here know best about such things.
Does anyone here know the shepherd that he is talking about? Have you seen him in the fields or in town? If you have, tell me it is time things were made plain.
I think the man he means is the same shepherd you have already asked to see. Jocasta perhaps could tell you something.
Do you know anything about him, lady? Is he the man we have summoned? Is that the man the shepherd means?
Why think of him? Forget the herdsmen, forget it all. This talk is a waste of time.
How can you say that when the clues to my true birth are in my hands?
For God's love, let us have no more questioning. Is your life nothing to you? My own pain is enough for me to bear.
You need not worry. Suppose my mother a slave and born of slaves, no baseness can touch you.
Listen to me, I beg you. Do not do this thing.
I will not listen. The truth must be made known.
Everything that I say is for your own good. You are fatally wrong. May you never learn who you are.
Go, one of you, and bring the shepherd here. Let us leave this woman to brag of her royal name.
Ah, miserable, this is the only word I have for you now. That is the only word I could never have.
Why has she left us, Oedipus? Why has she gone in such a passion of sorrow? I feel the silence, something dreadful may come of it.
Let it come, however base my birth, I must know about it. The queen, like a woman, is perhaps ashamed to think of my law origin, but I am a child of luck. I cannot be dishonored. Luck is my mother. The passing months my brothers have seen me rich and poor. If this so, how could I wish that I were someone else? How could I not be glad to know my birth?
If ever the coming time were known to my heart's pondering, Cytheron, now by heaven I see the torches at the festival of the next full moon, and see the dance and hear the choir sing of grace to your gentle shade. Mountain where Oedipus was found, O mountain guard of a noble race. May the God who heals us lend his aid, and let the glory come to pass for our king's cradling ground.
Of the nymphs that flower beyond the years, who bore you, royal child, the Pan of the hills, or the Timberland Apollo, cold in delight where the upland clears, or Hermes, for whom Cyllene heights are piled, or flushed as everything could, great Dionysus, roamer of mountains, who found you there, and caught you up with his own proud arms, from the sweet God ravisher who laughed by the muses' fountains.